Hello.
Yeah,
Just
so we can hear you.
use it.
Yeah, up to you. Or your jacket, whatever you want. Might be easier, you don't have to hold it all the time.
Okay, just hold it. So I'm happy tonight to be here. I'm Carol Poon from Hong Kong, and I am working as a BIM coordinator. I've about 4 years experience in BIM. I'm working in a main contractor like Gammon and OI, and also have some experience in OP Arab, Atkins. Also working for Starbucks as a design system specialist to train up the store designer to use Revit when they are making the coffee shop.
I worked at Starbucks as a barista.
Boss.
I was a barista. When I was in college, I made coffee. It was good.
Actually, I don't like coffee.
You like baristas? No. Oh.
Okay. So, I believe that everyone of you here know Supertrees and Gardens by the Bay, right? Yeah. This is a new landmark of Singapore, and I like it very much. Every time when I'm in Singapore, I will visit this place. This is my 4th time in Singapore, so you guys must be very proud of this well-known design. And okay, let's start our presentation. Actually, this presentation I've used it in RTC the past September, and Phil asked me to do it again here. And I'll try to answer you why, how, what I'm doing this project. I'm not Singapore now, and Hong Kong people, why? You may be interested, because I just answer you, this is a really funny project. I want to challenge myself in Revit and to see what will happen. And I'm going to show you how do I make it happen in Revit. In fact, I've spent about 1.5 months to study and modeling and rendering this project. I will show the final outcome by using Lumion for rendering. How many of you have used Lumion before?
I used it when I was a barista.
Okay. So this is Singapore, and this is RTC Asia. We have the event in Sentosa Island, RTC, and the project Gardens by the Bay is located at the Marina Bay. So actually, Gardens by the Bay is combined by 3 sections: the Bay East Garden, Bay Central Garden, and Bay South Garden. And our main focus is on the Bay South Garden. So this is some background information of the Bay South Garden, which is opened in June 2012. A masterpiece design. May I ask you a question? Do you know this design is designed by who? This naked landscape design? Actually, this is by a UK architect, Angel Brands. And it is the largest garden in Singapore, or even the largest one in Asia. And it contains a large variety of plant species from worldwide, such as Europe and Australia. And this is the map I got from the official website of Gardens by the Bay. Actually, I use more essay.
That was my Hanukkah present last year.
So, my models, they are mainly focused on the two conservatories here, the Bar Dome and the Tau Forest, and the Supertrees grove here, some of this here. This is the view photos of Gardens by the Bay. The lower one, the flatter one, is the Bar Dome, and the taller one is the Tau Forest. And this is the interior of this Tau Forest. A little bit information about the Tau Forest, which eliminates the conditions of mountainous tropical regions, and also it is connected to Supertrees, the cooling and ventilation system of the Tau Forest. There's some relationship with the Supertrees. And the Bar Dome, they create the conditions in Mediterranean springtime with mild, dry days and cool nights. And both conservatories, they have an automatic shading system to help the internal degrees and the temperature to keep 25 degrees Celsius. Actually, you know that Singapore is a very hot country, and how do they keep all these precious species in these two conservatories? Only by this shading system? Any of you know how do they do this? Actually, they have three approaches to keep the internal temperatures in a consistent way. The first one is the automatic shading system I mentioned, and the second one is the engineers. They have created a very special glass panel which can resist the heat but allow the light to enter the conservatories. And the third one is very clever. When they are building the two conservatories, they have a system located at the ground with a lot of water pipe. The water, they cool down the internal temperatures of the conservatories. I think this is really cool design system, which can save the energy, but also sustainable way to use less air conditions. Okay, this is the Supertrees grove, and the central of the picture is the tallest Supertree. Do you know that how tall is the tallest Supertree here in the center? I'll give you a hint. This is the bridge. There are some people walking, so you can guess. I'll give you a few options. A, 45, B, 25 meters, and C, 50 meters. Which one? A, B, C, 50. Yes, exactly. It is 50 meters height, which are equal to about 20 floors of the building. And also inside the tallest tree, they have a sky bar here, which is really nice. I'm going to be there tomorrow. So this is the night view of Supertrees, which is an intelligent design composed of lots practical functions and natural environment together. And some of the Supertrees functions are collect and consume solar energy. Actually, they have some solar panels located on the top of Supertrees here, and they can collect and reuse the rainwater. Also, the design can provide us natural shades for day and night to the terrace in the park. As mentioned, it is the part of the MEP system of the conservatory Tau Forest. And the final one, I think, which is the most interesting one, is similarly the real Supertree. Allow plants to grow on it. If you have a detailed look at this picture, you will see that at the core here, There are some planters. Just there are some planters here surround the trees. And actually, there are a few super tree in the world, which is in the Australia, Valley of the Giant, the new super tree. And this super tree in Gardens by the Bay, they are inspired by the concept. Okay. So after learning this project, I will do it in Revit, Dynamo, and Lumion. I've set up 3 major parts for this modern work. Firstly is to create the master plan. This one. And second is the 2 conservatories, and finally the Supertrees. They are all created in Revit. You may ask me a question. Hey, Carol, you are not related to this project. How do you gather all this information? Are you doing prep? Actually, I'm doing it for fun. I collect all this information from Google. This map is from Google. And also, I bought some books and DVDs from Gardens by the Bay. Also, I asked some information from the Gardens by the Bay office. And this project is the result of what I have researched. So the master plan, actually it is also the master project to place all the families I'm going to create for this one. As said, I've referred to different maps in order to get the most accurate result for the project. And also, this is the final outcome I have created after 1.5 months. What you have seen in this project is the green one, the map is located in the project, and the conservatories, they are conceptual mass families. And the super trees, they are also the conceptual mass families. And you see some block here, there are some genetic model to simulate buildings. And okay, after I've finished the master plan, I do the conservatories. This information, I got it from the books I bought from Gardens by the Bay. And I will use this method, use these families to create the conservatories. Firstly is the conceptual mass family to create the form of the conservatory. They are just like a shell shape, And then I will use the curtain panel by pattern families to simulate the curtain walls. And then finally, I will use the genetic model adaptive family to do the steel arches and supports. This is the final outcome of the conceptual mass family for the far dome. And before we create something, especially the irregular form in the conceptual mass, there are a few points you have to note. Firstly, make use of your views, 3D views, plan views, elevations, and sections. Make use of the sketches. Study what you have thought, the shape you are going to create. The use of the tab, on-cow, etc. And finally, you have to set the levels, reference planes, and dimensions to manage and keep track of your shape. So this is the example. You see that I have different views, and then this colorful picture, there are some scanning from the book I used for this project. I place the picture in the front wheel, back wheel, elevations, and top wheels. And then I also preset the leverage and reference plane and then set up the dimensions in order to monitor whether I'm doing something wrong. Okay, fine. So we have to start to work. This is my first attempt to create the bar dome, and actually I failed. Why? I create all this profile, and then just create a form, and then you will see the result. It looks good in really wheel, in the north wheel, which means the front wheel. The top wheels look okay, but in the animation, it looks totally different. What I'm going to create. So this is the use of the different wheels when you're trying to create irregular forms in conceptual mass handling. So I don't give up. I just try the second time. Second time, I use different methods to create a form. Okay, I draw a profile, and then draw an axis here to make it revolve. Revolve here, and then, okay, I compare it again. It looks nice. It looks nice. So this is what I want. Succeed. And then, actually, the revolve have to be cut with the void form. The void form. And here are some tips for you to create organic or irregular forms in conceptual mass. Firstly, you have to plan and understand what are you going to create in Revit. Whatever you are doing a project or making something really special, you have to understand and know what are you going to create in your mind first, and then select an appropriate modeling strategy for it. It will save you a lot of time. And then I have to advise you, this is a trial and error process sometime. That's I'm a good example of you. Also, good use of the wheels and makes use of void form. This is the tips I can give you. Okay. After the shape has been done, we have to add the curtain panels on the shape. So remember to turn on the device surface, the UV grid. And now we have to make use of the curtain panel pattern families. After you have turned on the device surface on the on your mask, and then apply the curtain panel by pattern family, you got something like this. It is about 3,000. I counted about 3,200 somethings of the curtain panels, which my computer almost died. It takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to make it happen. So I also have to advise you, try a little bit. When you create your family, you can just try a little bit quantity first, and then you can input something here to divide the group numbers. Next. Finally, we have to create the steel arches and the supports for the conservatory to make it more accurate. I have made use of the adaptive family to create the supports and arches, and then load it and place it on the device surface. You may have a question for me. Hey, Carol, are you going to place it one by one? How long does it take you finish all these works. Actually, I just create two walls of this. Two walls. I just place two walls of this adaptive family, and then I use a button here called Repeat, and then it will automatically generate the whole thing at once. Remember one thing: when you are going to place the adaptive family on the device surface, you have to turn on something. Turn on the knobs of surface. Any one of you don't know where is this button? Knobs, which is something somewhere like. Here, when you turn on the device surface, there is a little bit, very little error here. Click on it, and then it will have a note. This one. It will have a note. You have to check it. Notes here. You have to turn on this. It will have the download box show up, and then you have to check notes. Here. This one. Okay. This is all the supports and arches placed to the conceptual mass family. And this is how does it look like with the animation wheel.
How'd you do the ribs?
This one. Actually, this one is the adaptive family. I have separate into 4 points. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 points. And remember, this one is just for fun only. This project. The actual arches is about, for one rib, is about 8 pieces. 8 pieces. But to save my time, I just use one family with 4 points, and then the 4 points is just located on the top of some supports here to create a similar effect.
If I'd known that, I don't know.
You don't know that?
If I'd known that, I don't know that you figured it out.
Yeah, similar. My purpose is to create something similar. It's my purpose. Easy. If I have time, I will do it that way. Yeah. Okay.
I know you have time now.
Later. So this is how does it look like. And this is the cow forest, the another conservatory. They are using the similar method to it. Also use the conceptual mass, curtain panel, pattern families, the adaptive component families. So this is when all these 2 families have prepared the Revit, I load it to the master plan project. Remember one thing, when you are loading some masking family in your project, you have to turn on this one. Turn on the mask, visibility will be rise. Otherwise, they will not show up. So, what do you think? The real picture and the things created in Revit, I think although they are not perfect, they look similar and could be better, I think.
Have you uploaded this to Google Earth?
Google Earth, the map? The map?
No, like, doesn't Google Earth allow people to put in?
SketchUp.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Revit can upload to Google Earth. Maybe I do a SketchUp version.
Yeah, there you go. Go
Yeah.
SketchUp.
Yeah, later.
Later.
Yeah, later.
Come back next year.
This year? Okay, sure. Okay, this is the session summaries of creating the conservatories. if you have something similar like this, you can take a look. You have to make use of the view when you're creating a regular shape using the nesting family skill in Revit, and make use of the conceptual mask family. Okay, so here we go, the Supertrees. And this is the plan I've captured from Revit. Okay, on your left-hand side, you see the colorful dots. They are the allocation of the different heights of the Supertrees. There are 18 Supertrees in the gardens by the bay, and the tallest one is 50 meters. And they have 42 meter, 37 meter, 30 meter, and 25 meters. And on your left-hand side, on your right-hand side, there are the Supertree I create, which is the smallest, the 25 meter Supertree. And you may have a question that are your Supertree parametric? They can be general in a different size. Sorry, no. Because it takes many times to set up the formulas to make it parametric. So I've used the dynamo. Anyone have used this dynamo before?
Lincoln?
3?
Yeah.
4? Okay, dynamo. Dynamo is actually a visual programming tool. Can I say just like a plugin of Revit?
You say whatever you want.
I would say it is a Revit limit breaker. Revit limit breaker. It can master some functions in Revit without API, without API. It is free for use to use. The latest Dynamo version is 0.9.0. So you can take a look of it. It is very easy to use, even for non-mover. So when I start to create the Supertrees, I've spent a lot of time to study. I think the most time wasting part is studying how are the branches of the Supertrees developed. Is it random? How many of you think the branches are random? Or they have the roots?
I think they're rule-based.
They have the roots. This picture, the black one, sorry, the black one, is the one I captured from the video of Gardens by the Bay. When it is from, they made the Supertree from Teflon, and then I counted the white one. And I found that they have the root, they have 8 pieces combined together to make the Supertree branches. Actually, it is really difficult for my photo. This is a photo I have taken before, so it makes me feel dizzy when I'm looking at it. So I just get rid of it and then watch the video. Okay. And the skill of Revit, of modeling the Supertree is just also use the conceptual mask families, and you have to use the nesting family skill because there are about 10, create 10 families, 10 parts to make a single Supertree family. Here are the parts of making a Supertree. The concrete core and base, the solar panels, the mounts, the supports and mounts, and the branches. The branches actually has broken down into 8 pieces. And the core branches, they have internal one and the outside one, which is 2 families. And the vertical planting. So when they all come together, they make the supertree families. This is the 25-meter supertree, and the file size of this family is about 97 megabytes. 97 megabytes. And okay,
How'd you make the branches?
the branches. A second, please. Okay, I have when I'm doing this project, I screenshot the modeling process. So this is the first time, and the first page I disclose this information to you all. So you guys lucky. So let's see branches. Okay, for the core, the branches, I create a shape like this, and then I divide surface. And then they have the internal branches and external branches. I mark up those locations first before I place the family. And then I create a metric genetic model adaptive families. This one. You can find that the end of this branches has different size. The end is bigger and the head is thinner because the branches, you know that on the ground is bigger and the top is thinner. And then I place it on this net. Keep placing it. Or using the repeat function I just introduced you guys. This is how I assemble the Supertrees by the solar panels, the mass, and the concrete core. Okay. Well, this one is I try to use Dynamo to scale up and scale down some things. For the pieces, Phil, you asked me.
Yeah.
You guys see that here are the 4 pieces of the Supertrees. I create one and then copy and mirror the other one to the other side, and then do it 7 times. Yeah, if by copies, do it 7 times, and then I will make a Supertree branches.
So each segment is an eighth of the whole?
8 pieces.
There's
8 pieces.
going around that top.
Yeah,
And so you just made one, mirrored it, and then mirrored it around.
exactly. This one. And actually, the each pieces, I just manually put up all the adaptive family. Maybe it doesn't look exactly the same, but similar.
Are those pieces riding on some type of mass, or how are they hosted to get the flare?
It is the same modeling method as the core. I just introduced, just like this one. This one.
That one, keep
I
going
create another mask. Wait.
down.
This one, the top, the plan wheel. Okay. I create a filter shape mask at the first place, and then I turn on the device surface. And then I place these adaptive families to this filter shape conceptual mask. And then I will get something like this. The filter shape just like this one. Sorry for the quality of the picture. Okay. So, have I answered your question, Phil?
Yep.
Yes? Okay, good. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me anytime. Okay? So, we go back to the slide. Okay, now the Gardens by Bay have one super tree here, which is so lonely, right? So we are going to create more of it. And I have jumped to the dynamo. Actually, dynamo, this is the script I have written for scaling things in Revit. So when I pick up the original Supertrees, this first code block, we call it code block here. When I set up all the code block and I link it up, and then click run, it will generate something in Revit in real time. Okay. The smaller one is the original one, the real Revit family. And the taller one, the white one, is what I've created in by Dynamo, which is an object model. The white one. So what I'm going to do, it has no color on it. And I cannot change the object model, no. I cannot change the object model, but when I want to assign some materials or color on it, I can go to the manage, the object style, to assign different colors or change the original colors to make it like the same Supertrees. And this is the script I have written for this project. And I also upload it to the Dynamo library, so everyone in this world can use it. You can search the scale Revit elements in the Dynamo library, and then you will find it. Right here, this is the Dynamo interface. You can go to the package to search it, type the scale Revit elements, and then you can download it and use it instantly. And later I will write a better version of this script, because that using this script has one disadvantage. They are generating one single object, but you know that I've told you that I create the Supertrees with different families and parts, so I have to use different script to separate different parts. So later on I will upload maybe scale Revit elements 2.0 version to the Dynamo library, so you can download later. So what is the benefits of Revit and Dynamo together to create something? My example is the best one. It can save my time. I don't have to recreate all 5 trees or by setting up the parametric formulas in a very rushed time. I just do it quickly. Or for you to scale up to see the result of designers, they can be very handy. And also, you can use the script in your other projects, which can be reused. You can share it with your teammates. So it also help your team to standardize the modern process because all people they're using the same language. Okay. Here are the Supertrees with different scale. Okay. Here is the elevation. So remember to make use of the conceptual master families when you create something irregular, just like what I said. Using the nesting families and use the dynamo to scale elements, but remember to change the materials in the object style for the dynamo generated geometry. And now we are going to use Lumion to render some beautiful image from our virtual projects. Here is the rendering I got from Lumion with no extra effect, just directly output from Lumion. It spent me about 1 minute of time to do it. So you can see the sunlight, the shadow here, the grass. Second one, which is more cartoon feel. The Supertrees, cartoon feel. Whoa, yeah. So, this is a big difference from the previous one. What I've done some settings, of course. First, I've added the plants, all the plants here. If you guys have experience in landscape, creating landscape in Revit, it may be painful for you because they only have limited species of plants, and also they are just like a paper board, right? You have to spend a lot of time for rendering, wait, but the results is just so-so. So I'll recommend you to use Lumion for putting all those trees there. About over hundreds of tree species there. So I just keep planting, and I do this project. And then I set up the sunset time, and that's done. Easy, right? Easy, yeah, really easy. You can typically create ugly flames in Lumion. If you can create everything, tell me. I want to take a look. So this is another picture with all the planting and sunlight. I just shift the camera in Lumion. And this is the back view of the conservatories. I have applied it. You can apply some materials on your project. You can paint the color. Lumion and the rendering. And this one is also created by Lumion. I added some camera effect. You see the rainbow here. And I increase the cloud density here. Okay, not bad. And this one. Also created by Lumion. I created this because I was inspired by a postcard I got before. They are using the same view, pick up the picture from the ground to the Supertrees.
you put the plants on in Lumion as well?
Yep.
The plants got hosted on.
You mean the plants around the Supertree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lumion.
Yeah, this one, the planters, they're all in Lumion. You can adjust the scale, the size.
You manually adjust everything.
Yes. For this one, I create radical. I can, because when you place the plants by Lumion, you can create a numbers of plants by line, and then you can adjust the density. For example, you want 10, and just type 10, and then they will adjust automatically. If you want 100, then you will have 100 planters up
What
here.
version of Lumion we're in?
5. Yeah. Of course, I've spent some time to place all these planters, but it worked this time. So this is the interior of the flower dome. I placed the flowers and some plants, and then set up the sounds, and set up the camera, and then take a render. This is the last one. I adjust the exposure of the camera. This is the last one. I use the field of depth effect, so you will see clear in close object and blur in the far object. So this is the result, and this is all I've got for this project. And I've used all these materials for the project. The website, Gardens by the Bay, the DVDs, you can buy it on Gardens by the Bay in the book. And this is all of my presentation. Thank you very much.